egg cholesterol myth, preventing stroke and heart attacks. Debunking the eggs or egg cholesterol myth and preventing strokes and heart attacks. It's a long one, but the key that we want you to take home today is we are going to debunk. We're going to debunk the cholesterol myth that you may have on eggs. Eggs as EGGS. I don't know how you say it, but I say eggs. We're going to go straight, and I don't know if we have any thing to share before we start. As an icebreaker, honey, do you have anything to share for the week?
Not really. It's just it's been a very busy week.
It's been a very busy week,
Yeah,
right?
with family visiting and more things to do at work. The week has been very intensive, but we can say that it was all good.
It's all good. Come on, man. It's all good. As long as there's life, it's good, right? We got to be grateful to God for everything we have. Go ahead. All right. So, honey, what is the first thing that we decided to talk about today? Let me see if I can get. Yeah, we have an outline, right? We're going to have to go with an outline because we don't want anything to just happen by a chance, especially because we have a lot of info. So let's see what we have on our outline today. The first one is we're going to be talking about why worry about cholesterol in the first place. Why should you worry about cholesterol? Because we are saying that we are debunking the egg cholesterol myth. Then there's got to be something with cholesterol. That's why you are probably hearing that kind of myth. So we're going to just throw a little more light on why worry. Why should people even be concerned about cholesterol? And then give to you, continue, please.
Oh, yeah. Then we will talk about what's in egg. Yeah, what a thought we got from eating egg.
What do we have in eggs? And then from there, that's in itself is a whole show. So we're going to rush through it, but stick with us. And then from there, we're going to be talking about the myths on eggs and some truths to the things that you may be hearing about eggs. So that's another thing we're going to be talking about.
Yeah, then we continue with the research and recommendations out there and studies that has been done and their conclusion.
All right, and then right after that, we'll provide you with a lot more information, some basic, some basic tips to prevent or protect yourself against getting a stroke. Because all this hula baloo about eggs is because people think it may get them in trouble, getting a stroke or heart attack, right? So we're going to throw in a few points on how to protect yourself against getting a stroke, whether the way you eat your egg or general ways of taking care of yourself and protecting yourself from getting a stroke. So with that being said, we can move forward, right? All right. So the next point then is let's hit some of the statistics about stroke. Is it at all necessary that we talk about eggs and stroke? Yes, it is. Let's.
Yeah, so with the statistics, I think we keep going back to this because it's very alarming how many people get stroke and how many people die of stroke. So with the statistics out there, we have that every 40 seconds someone has a stroke. Every 40 seconds, less than a minute, somebody has a stroke. And every 3 minutes, 14 seconds, somebody dies of stroke. Then in United States, it's been documented that 795,000 people have stroke every year.
Come on, man, that's a huge number. It's not a good number to be happy about, but at least we got to still clap. At least we have the information, and hopefully we will not be a part of the statistic, right? And I always want to put the numbers into perspective. So every 3 minutes, 14 seconds. Let's approximate it to every 3 minutes. So if we take an hour, usually we do an hour live show. If we do use an hour today, then by the time we finish, 20 people would have died. And that's first time stroke. They just got stroke and they boom died. And so if you put it that way, you will know that you got to stay on alive and see what we have to share, because it may be life-changing for you and for the people you love. All right, so that is why we always want to mention the statistics. It's not, we just don't want you to come and talk about stroke. What is in it for you? Because people are dying, people are getting maimed, people are getting bedridden, People are losing their, their daily functions that they could, do all this while they become bedridden, become very dependent on other people, even if they don't die. And so, if you can take care of yourself, protect yourself from some of these things that we are going to be sharing, then it is all for the best, right? Come on, man.
Yeah.
That's the whole reason.
So that you don't become a burden
You don't
to your
become a
loved
burden.
ones.
If you really love them, you don't want to be a burden to them. And so the little things you do, and that's a funny thing.
Yeah.
It may not take a lot. We're going to be talking about debunking some eggy myths, right? Some myths about eggs. If we tell you that eating 5 eggs will protect you from getting a stroke, then we may have solved some problem. But that's not what we're going to say. I'm just teasing up. I'm just teasing. But we got some new information to share. So stick around and see what we got for you, because we definitely want to take care of yourself and protect yourself from getting a stroke. All right. So in that case, we'll move to the next one. And our next item is that, since we said that we are debunking some myths about eggs and cholesterol, we want to make sure that we know what it is that we're actually talking about as far as cholesterol is concerned. There's got to be something wrong with cholesterol. That's why people are making some claims, some of which are false about eggs, some of which are true about eggs. So what's up with eggs? Let's start. Ipti. What do
You
you
mean
have to say?
cholesterol?
I'm sorry, with cholesterol.
Yes, so we worry about the bad cholesterol. If you want to go back to our video, you can get more information about the details of cholesterol and the different kinds. But we worry about the bad cholesterol, which is the LDL, and we have the triglycerides. So if you look at the picture up there on the screen, you can see that there is a buildup of cholesterol in the tube. So as it builds up, it's going to block the flow of blood and substance and the movement of the blood flow in the arteries. So definitely, if your cholesterol is high, you will have something called atherosclerosis, right? It affects the tubes in your body that is coming out of your heart, your brain, your eye, and all that. So if you have bad cholesterol, it builds up in your arteries, and that comes with a lot of
Implications,
problems.
yes.
So one of the problem is like it can break off the plug, and that can block the flow of blood, and that can cause heart attack or stroke when it gets to the brain. So definitely we have to worry about bad cholesterol.
Definitely. And that is another reason why we have to talk. And that's why people say, don't eat eggs because eggs are bad for you. But I also want to add that even by the plaque breaking off itself, it's a substance. The tiny brain vessels can be clogged by the plaque itself, which is big enough. Or when the plaque breaks off, a clot may actually form in the spot where the clot broke off, and that clot, by the pressure of your blood moving over it, will be broken eventually, and God knows where it lodges. If it lodges in your brain, that's what we call ischemic stroke. If it lodges in your heart arteries, that's what we call a heart attack or myocardial infarction. If it goes to your lungs, we got pulmonary embolism. If it goes to your legs, inside your deep veins, we call it DVT. And so clot forming in itself can cause a lot of damage. But here is the case: the major risk factor for getting those clots to form is cholesterol accumulation, as Gifty explained, plaque building up in your arteries, wherever it may be. And so it makes sense that people say that eat eggs or don't eat eggs because it can lead to strokes or heart attack. But as we go forward, we're going to share with you how many eggs or what at all you should not eat, or if you should eat, in order to go for it. I think we have just said this, right? So cholesterol is the implicator of all these bad stuff. And so, yeah, thank you. I see some likes from TikTok. Great job. And do the follow and share. Unfortunately, we can't reach your video there, but we can see all that. We thank you for that. And if you are watching on YouTube and you haven't liked or done the thumbs up, I don't know what you're waiting for. Come on, man. Let's do it as the honor so we can share it. The more you do that, the more the algorithm shares the video around. All right, so let's move on. So the next point on our agenda then is, what is in an egg at all? So people are making some claims about eggs, but we want to make sure that we are complete. So we're going to quickly go through the content of an egg. If you took a large healthy egg, an egg that is, picked up whole. What did you get from an egg? Let's start off with that. Right. The first one is eggs do have all the 9 essential amino acids.
So before you even go there, when you take an egg, right, you see the yellow part and the white part.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So, like a layman, you're asking somebody, what do you see in an egg? Egg has the yolk and the white part when you break it. So, that's what's in egg. But we're talking about what you really get out of egg when you ingest it.
Oh, come on, man. Man, you tell me you do the cooking, you see all the colors. I just pick it up and I'm eating, right? That's the thorough about ladies. Yeah. So yes, the egg, a healthy egg contains a full yolk and the whites, right? All right. So coming to the contents, eggs contain a huge amount of protein in the form of essential amino acids. So all the essential or very important amino acids that you need for your body to build proteins, cell membrane, DNA, whatever it is, these proteins are all locked in there. Of course, your body may make more, but these 9 essential amino acids are found in an egg.
Which makes it very important because
Very important, yeah.
9 whole essential amino acids that we need as people are found in just one egg.
Just one egg.
Right? And we can also say that it has vitamins, or the fat soluble vitamins are found in eggs. And we have a B here. So we have vitamins A, B, D, E, and K all in one egg.
All in one egg. All right. So after that, then we also, you mentioned the vitamins, right? But let's take a look at what some of the vitamins actually do. The vitamins in an egg, especially the vitamin A, are implicated in protecting your eyes. What we call lutein and zeaxanthin, antioxidants that are found in the whole egg that protect your eyes. If you talk to an eye doctor and they want to tell you to protect yourself against, some of the eye problems, macular degeneration or whatever it is, inflammation of the eyes, whatever, they may sometimes actually prescribe you a supplement called zeaxanthin. And zeaxanthin is naturally found in a whole egg. So that's a good thing for eggs. So basically, if you forget about the zeaxanthin or how to say it, just say that eggs have antioxidants. Right, so we can move on to the next one.
Yeah, so eating egg will help with inflammation in the eye and make you see better, So it help with your vision, just eating egg.
Eating eggs.
Or an egg, right?
All right. So now we go to the next one. All right. So the next one then is selenium and choline and iron. So I'm going to talk about it. Which one do I want to talk about? I'll talk about the selenium. It's a mineral that is found in the body in trace amounts. And if you eat an egg, you get selenium from it. Also, if you eat an egg, you get choline. Some people call it choline. And then, depending on where you were born, right? And then, also we have iron, which is also important for blood cells, also found in an egg. Now, you want me to go on?
Yeah, continue.
The choline is responsible for, brain development. So especially in children when they are growing up, or for pregnant people, when you eat eggs, you are helping build your brain matter, brain communications, neuronal health because of choline. And of course, the iron, we already talked about.
Yeah, and with the iron, you also convert it to folate. So as a pregnant woman, you need all this for the brain cells in your child. So you have all the basics, minerals and vitamins that you need for the development of cells and your muscles and all that. And on the white part also have proteins that help in developing your muscles, because I see that sometimes people that want to lose weight, sometimes the trainer will tell you to consume more eggs, of thinking that if you eat eggs, it build up your muscles. You build up muscles, and
Because
that is something that you can get from eggs.
that is great. That is great info right there. So those are more things that are found in an egg. Let's see if there's anything else. Now, that's about all that we put in for the contents of an egg. But there are yet more. There are fats. As a matter of fact, there is cholesterol in egg, right? Come on, man. That is right. That's how we got our topic from.
Right.
So every egg contains, especially in the yolks of an egg contain certain amount of cholesterol. As a matter of fact, it contains 186 milligrams of cholesterol. The yolk part, the white part has no cholesterol, or even if there is, very small. But basically, the yolk is the center of your cholesterol. And so I know that we already bashed cholesterol, right? We told you cholesterol is bad. And so that is potentially why we have a lot of myths about eggs, because if the yolk has a huge number, such as 186 per just one egg, then maybe some of the things they may be saying may be right. But is it right? Is it true? Okay, so this is where we come then to myths and truths about eggs. So that takes us to that next. What are some of the myths? What are some of the truths about eggs? The first one is eggs raise blood cholesterol level. And it makes sense because we're saying that the yolk contains 186 milligrams of cholesterol.
Yeah. So, like you said, one egg contains 186 milligrams, right? And we know that the total amount of cholesterol that you have to consume to remain under the radar, that you don't hit the points that you are worried about your cholesterol level, daily consumption amount is what, 300.
That's the recommendation of the American Heart Association.
Right. So it's recommended that you stay around 300 milligrams. And I think American Heart Association also suggests that if you have heart condition, your number may be a little lower, right? So if it's recommended that you consume 300 milligrams and one egg contains 186 milligrams, then it's bound for people to worry about you eating eggs and getting into trouble with your cholesterol. That's why we have a myth out there that suggests that eggs raise blood cholesterol. But what we want to debunk today is that if you are going to consume one egg a day, then you should be okay. You should be okay to consume.
Come on, man. You got to explain. You got to explain just one egg.
But I know that we have some people that consume 6. They put 6 eggs together and just eat
4.
Sometimes I think the basic is 2 a day, right? So if you're doing 2 a day, if you add 186 to 186, how much do you get? You kind of exceed the daily cholesterol. But there has been a study that suggests that within a week, if you consume 1 egg a day, meaning that if you consume 7 eggs a week, then definitely it's not going to affect your blood cholesterol. So there has been a study that encourages most people, with the benefits of eggs that we've gone through, if you are going to consume total of 7 eggs a week, you should be okay to eat eggs, thinking of the benefits that comes from consuming eggs.
All right, I think we're going a little bit ahead of ourselves, but she gave you too much. But we want you to still hang around because we're going to hit more of the studies, right? She's saying that 186 is per 1. And so if you are taking 2, then you are potentially exceeding 300, which is recommended by the American Heart Association. But the thing is that in the US right now, they actually have removed the cap on eggs. Maximum how many eggs you can eat or whatever cholesterol amount you can have, because they want it to be more individualized, because everybody's genes are different and everybody's risk factors for diseases are different. So the cap is really not important, except that American Heart Association is a specialty for your heart health. And that is why she brought that up. But technically, you don't need to go by any number. It's as long as you are frequent with your doctor's office, your blood work is done. If your cholesterol is normal and they don't see any reason to be worried about, then eating one may be good, but even two may not be bad because your cholesterol is already good, right? And the problem happens when there's something already detected that, hey, things are creeping up. That is when that myth becomes seemingly true. In that case, then eating one may add on to whatever it's already high.
Okay.
And so that is where the truth in this myth may lie. Otherwise, we debunk that truth. We debunk that myth. All right. I think we can move on to the next one, right? The next one, the next myth is that X increase stroke slash heart disease risk. X increase stroke slash heart disease risk. And I'll start this just in the same way because we know that's why we started about what cholesterol does. Because we know that the more cholesterol you have, the more likely you're going to form plaques or atherosclerosis, and the more likely one of the plaques may break off and form a clot, and the more likely that clot may lodge into your brain and cause a stroke. This myth seems to look like it's true. So they are saying that eating eggs may increase your risk for stroke and heart disease because they understand how strokes form, right? The clot that is coming from the excessive deposits of cholesterol in your arteries, and so that seemingly makes it seem like it is true. But is it the whole truth? I want you to weigh in before we move forward. What do you think?
Yes, so in their mind, they are thinking that eggs will increase blood cholesterol.
Okay.
And if blood cholesterol is increased, your chance of getting stroke is high and your chance of getting heart attack is high. But there has been a study, I think I have to repeat myself. There has been a study that has followed a lot of people, almost 400,000 people around, and it's been concluded that eating eggs does not really lead you in getting stroke. The problem comes in when you eat egg, but the way that you make the egg can cause you to have problem with your cholesterol. Let's take somebody eating, maybe decide to fry 3 eggs, right? So with the 3 eggs, they decide to fry it in butter. Okay, so you fried it in butter. In addition to frying it in butter, you add your bacon.
Oh, come on, man. That's how it tastes good, right?
Yeah. So to bring out the taste, you have to add your bacon. So this time, it's not just the egg that we are worried about. Now we have to worry about the trans fat in the margarine or in the butter that you're using to fry your egg. And now we have to worry about the fat that comes with using your bacon. That makes it a problem. So it's the way that you make
forgot
your
about one
egg.
thing.
What else am I missing?
Sausage. Come on, man.
So the additives, the other things that we add to the egg is the problem. So the real culprit here is the trans fat and the saturated fat that you are adding onto the egg. That's when it becomes a problem. So to be on the safer side, if you're doing your 3 eggs or your 2 eggs, you have to make sure that you use the healthy oil that we talked about. So maybe you can spray your pan with olive oil. You do the olive oil. You pour your egg in, and you add your tomatoes, your onions, your bell peppers or stuff like that. Add it in, and after that, you add your avocado with it. And that tastes so delicious than using fat to your eggs. That can definitely lead you or cause a problem with your cholesterol. So definitely it's the way that you go about frying your egg that will get you into trouble. It's not the egg itself per se.
So basically, if I can understand you, what you're trying to say is that the cholesterol alone in egg may not be the culprit, but the added stuff, right? The things you add to it increase the cholesterol, and of course the sodium too.
Yes.
So you're going to get a blood pressure increase because your sausage is so salty, your bacon is salty, and apart from that, they have a huge amounts of saturated fats. And all these are also going to eventually turn into cholesterol plaques in your arteries. And so the egg becomes just one unit of an entire unhealthy breakfast or dinner or whatever it is you are eating it. And that is where the problem is. So, yes, it is a myth. Eggs may or may not increase your risk depending on how you make it. And of course, if you are also already at high risk of getting a stroke, for example, you already, been told that you got to cut back on your cholesterol because your cholesterol is already up the roof. It's not controlled. You have high LDL, your HDL is very low, but your good cholesterol, your good cholesterol is very low, but your bad cholesterol is very high. You have high triglycerides. Your blood pressure is already up. You're on medication, but it's not done well. Then, of course, eating eggs may increase your risk because you are adding to something you don't have a control over. And that is where that myth may become a truth. But for the rest of us, if everything is stable, then this myth is false. Come on, man. This myth may be false just because eating eggs by themselves do not increase your stroke risk. And she already alluded to the study. We looked at a few studies. We're going to go through a few of them when we get there. But the point is, eating eggs on their own does not increase your risk for strokes or heart disease just by itself. When you add certain things to it, then you are increasing the other, negative part and then making your risk go up. And she mentioned them. We probably don't know all the things. We already know the things we are used to here. Yeah, but some people may eat eggs with goat meat on top. Some people may eat egg on a macaroni and cheese where the cheese is already very fat, not very fatty cheese, not a healthy one. And you know what you eat your egg with, and so in that case, the egg becomes just a small thing. The whole thing is messed up, and that is where you're gonna get your stroke from. So please don't blame good old egg. Egg is free. Come on, man. Egg is good. All right. Anything else to add? All right. So let's move on to the next one then. The next myth is that only egg whites are healthy. Only egg whites are healthy. Let me just start off. So, some people, of course, when we mentioned the content of eggs, we said that eggs contain, the yolk and the white, right? The yolk happen to have all the cholesterol, the 186 milligrams of cholesterol that is in an egg is contained in the yolk. And so the knowledge of that has caused people to say that only egg white is fine. Because if I eat the yolk, I'm getting the cholesterol. And if I get a cholesterol, I'm probably going to get a heart attack or a stroke or whatever it is that I don't want. And that is why this myth has come about, that only egg whites are healthy. But we beg to differ. And in my perspective, I will allow you to come in. But for me, I believe that eating 186 milligrams of cholesterol in one egg is not enough to lead you to a heart attack or stroke. Again, you have to look at your entire dietary system, your entire the way you eat, your physical activity or inactivity, your stress levels, your blood pressure, and of course your cholesterol situation. If you have hypercholesterolemia, which is short for saying that you're genetically predisposed to making more cholesterol, you have the genes to make extra cholesterol than you should, then of course there may be a sense or truth in this because you're already making too much by yourself because of your genes. Then in that case, the egg white may be the only healthy one for you just because you want to reduce the amount of cholesterol. But apart from that, in my books, I think this is not a true. This is a real myth. And that's what I think. What do you think?
Yes. So, if you eat only the white part, you are missing a lot because, as we've gone through already, we have the 9 essentials amino acids, right?
We have all these vitamins.
We have the vitamins, we have the minerals, we have the selenium, we talk about the choline, the iron, and all the nutrients, the good nutrients, is in the yolk. So if you are getting only the white and you are anemic, you can get a lot of help by eating the yolk. So if you don't have any underlying condition, if you are overall healthy, you egg the yolk is very important, that it has the whole nutrients that you need in a day, a lot in an egg. So you'll be missing a lot if you depend only on the white part. The white part has protein, all right, that can help with the buildup of the muscles and all that, but you have a lot more nutrients in the yolk that can be very important for the buildup of your cells, your brain development, and all that we've talked about.
All right. So do you agree that this myth is really not true?
It's not true.
Oh, come
You'll be
on, man.
missing a lot.
My goodness. This is a myth. Only egg whites are healthy. No, that's not true. That's not true. You could be essentially very strict because of your cholesterol situation, especially as I said, if you have hypercholesterolemia, you're making more cholesterol than you have to, or you're producing too much, and you want to restrict your cholesterol level by reducing your egg intake. But even that, you could eat 3 times a week. You could still have something. And the cheat is that in order to improve your cholesterol, I know we may hit on that. If you really love eggs and you are restricting your egg intake because of your high cholesterol, my question would be, how is your exercise? Because if you do frequent, regular exercise, you are going to take down the cholesterol. You're going to increase your HDL and decrease the bad cholesterol. And if you do it so well, then you can eat your egg and still have it. You can eat your cake and have it. Come on, man. You can eat your egg and have it. But if you are going to be sedentary, your lifestyle won't change. You just want to live the way you want, sitting in the couch potato, watching TVs, no activity.
Blame all your problems on eggs.
Then you're going to miss out. There's a lot of things that you can do. If you really want to eat your egg and have it, you can. All right, so we move on to the next one. The next myth, if it is more, I think this is the last myth. The last myth is that eggs should be avoided by those with high cholesterol. Okay, I think we already touched on this. Eggs should be avoided by those with high cholesterol. You want to start off?
Yeah, so I think you mentioned that sometimes some people in their own state, or the way that their system or their liver or produces cholesterol, they only produce on the higher level. They can be skinny, they can be healthy overall, but naturally their body tends to produce more cholesterol. Yeah. So if you are that person, maybe your doctor may advise you to be extra careful that you don't want to overdo it because you are already on the higher level. So just a little bit can put you in that situation. So such a person, the doctor may recommend that. But overall, healthy people out there overall, like people that have a normal cholesterol level, they are active, they are doing all that, and they have high cholesterol. And if they are taking medication, we wouldn't say that you should avoid egg entirely. There is a way around it. If you are able to consume less than, like the study say, I think you said that we shouldn't put a number on that. But if you have a special case or scenario that you have high cholesterol and you are not able to bring it down well, or the medication is not really hitting it, then you have to find a way around it. You shouldn't avoid it completely or entirely. Maybe you can get away with 3 a week or 4 a week. You should be okay with consuming eggs. So that myth is also debunked.
It's debunked. It's debunked. Oh, you didn't hear my argument.
Oh yeah,
You just debunked it without me. I guess we can move on because since you already proved it. Well, I agree. I just made fun of that. I agree completely. Yes, that argument is not, that myth is debunked because no matter how high your cholesterol, as a matter of fact, if you really are paying attention to your health, to your care, then come on, one egg of 200, not even 200 milligrams, it's 186 milligrams of cholesterol will not put you into a big problem. one egg will not, especially if you are taking care of the other things. If you eat your egg and you are not eating your goat or sheep meat or your, the skin of your chicken, you are not eating, real red meat with all these fat on it.
The
The
pastries,
pastries,
the
come on,
trans
the
fats.
trans fats in these pastries, your cholesterol is going to come down quick, and one egg a day will not do anything, which is the recommendation for people who are actually dealing with issues like that. But again, we want to be careful in saying that you have to follow your doctor's instructions. Maybe your doctor knows you are the kind that when they tell you to eat your egg, you're not just going to eat your egg. You're going to add the bacon. You're going to add the sausages,
The butter, the margarine,
the
yeah.
butter, margarine. All those things. Because your egg cannot be eaten plain. Some people are like, I can't just eat egg plain. It's got to come with that bacon. And in that case, the doctor will be better off saying, don't eat it. I'm having fun. The doctor will be better off saying, don't eat it, than to give you the chance and then make you screw everything up. But seriously, one egg, especially like Gifty said, being very conservative every other day, 3 days in a week,
Yeah.
will not do you any harm if you are paying attention to all the other things that are concerned. So, yes, I agree. This is debunked.
Debunked.
This is debunked. This is debunked. All right, and I think we have a comment here from Apostle. Let's see if we can put it up right now. Say first, she said thank you, and yes, we are also thanking you for watching. Thank you for watching also. And then she says, I'm watching and praying and paying attention to egg consumption. Oh my goodness, that is exactly what we want everybody to do.
That's a question.
That's there's another question. Okay, let's see what the question is, and it looks like a good question too. So, please, boiled and fried eggs, which is better? Oh, come on, man, that is a good question. That is a good question. What do you think, honey?
Yeah, so I think overall the source of egg has to be paid attention, right? Because like we go out there, they are encouraging that we have to buy the free range, but I think we have to be careful with that selling or marketing strategy that people are using. So if we get our egg, cooking or frying it does not result one being better than the other, but the way that we do it. So like we said already, the frying, what kind of oil are you using to fry? What kind of oil are you using to fry? What are the additives? What are the things that you are adding in? Some people go to the point of adding even spices that are so salty. The way that you make the fried egg. That's people think that boiled egg will be safer because normally you don't add anything, you just boil it. But if you are frying it, the things that you add in to fry is what you have to pay attention with. So if you're adding the greens, you're adding your tomatoes, your onions and all that, and you fried it in
Olive oil.
olive oil, there is nothing wrong with that. That will be as healthy as boiling it.
And I think I agree with you on that too. I agree, definitely. And especially if you do it, we are careful to say the kind of oil, because if you use any other unhealthy, if you use any unhealthy, because olive oil is not an unhealthy oil. If you use an unhealthy oil, then you have completely screwed up the whole thing. So the key is, if you want it fried, make sure you get your olive oil. We'll probably have a video on olive oil sometime to explain the more benefits of olive oil. So you would be actually getting two benefits in one. As long as you don't overheat it, you are going to get a benefit of olive oil with all the HDL and all that good stuff in there, and then the benefits of your oil, of your egg. So healthy oil is the way to go if you want to fry it. But like she said, if you don't have healthy oil, you're not sure what kind of oil you have, or you just want to stay away from heating it up, because sometimes if you overheat it, overcook it, you break down the proteins too. You want to make sure that that's why when you boil an egg, you actually We don't want to overcook it. You want to have the yolk a little soft so that some of the natural ingredients are not broken down. Because too much heating will break the some of the things down. And so, if you can do it that way, then definitely it is going to be very, very good. All right. So, Apostle says, thank you so much. And we thank you for that question. Some of the questions, when you ask, you think you're asking for yourself, but you're asking for a lot of people because many people will watch now who have a question will not ask, and also in the future. So, when you ask, it's good. So, if you are watching and you have any question, put it on the chat. If we see it, especially if you are watching from YouTube, we can see it and share, or Facebook, we can see it and share with the audience, and then we will all roll together. All right. So with that being said, I think we can move on, right? Let me see where we were now. All right. So we finished the last of the myths, and we debunked all the myths, right? He said that eggs should be avoided by those with high cholesterol, and our answer is not necessarily, unless your doctor has told you. If your doctor said so, then who am I? Because he knows you. He knows you more. He sees you and talks to you, and he knows the kind of person you are. And he knows how high your cholesterol is. And so if he says don't eat it, then of course don't. But if you are just making the choice because, oh, I was put on cholesterol medication, so I'm not eating egg, without the doctor saying that, then reconsider. Talk to him and see if it is so high enough that you can't even get the benefits of eating an egg. And there are certain other things from eggs that we may not be able to say. And you will be missing out if you can actually enjoy it. All right, let's see what next is up. And so, um, we actually, that's another myth right there. So this should have been the Eden,
Oh,
right?
the
So we
D.
have another myth. And this myth is eggs increase stroke risk. Didn't we touch
I
on
think
that?
we did. We
All right,
talked
so
about that already.
we
I
actually
think
did this.
one myth that I think you didn't put down is the color of the shell. Is brown
Yes.
egg better than white egg? If you can elaborate on that, I think that can be someone's question.
Yeah. So brown eggs and white eggs. And I have seen a guy do a video, it's a long video, where he actually, it was like a research project. I mean, I was marveled at the detail. He actually went all the way, I don't remember the name, I'll put it on for people to watch. He actually went all the way to how even the chickens are raised, all the way to the color of the shell. And ultimately, the answer is that when it comes to the color of the shell, it is just genetics. There's no difference. So don't buy expensive brown egg, which I've seen people do. I mean, we used to do it too.
We do
You
that. We
actually,
still do.
come on, man. He said that, oh, the brown eggs are better. I mean, some people think they taste better. And this person I'm talking about, I wish I had his name so you could watch it for yourself. He actually, did a trick where he tasted them blindfolded so that he would be able to see if there's difference. And he found no difference. So it is all in our head. It's all that marketing that people say.
Yeah.
Maybe your parent told you or somebody said that the brown eggs taste better. If you find brown egg that tastes better than your white egg, please go for it. But as far as the cholesterol or health, they are all the same. The nutrients, they are all the same because the shell color is just by virtue of the chicken's genetics. Why I have black skin and somebody has light skin, it's just the genetics. Ultimately, we are all human, and so that's what it is. So don't overspend on eggs just because of the color. I mean, I don't know if you're also going to follow up with a question about whether it is free range or not.
Or caged.
Or cage range. That one too, I would think that the free range, as long as they are not fed hormones, if you are doing free range and yet you are putting the food on there for the chickens to go fine, then it is not free range.
You're helping them find the food.
You are just helping them find the food and walk about and exercise. But technically, you are giving them the food, which is not natural. So to me, free range is when you have let the chickens go and look for the food itself from the ground or from the grass or from the roots of eating the worms themselves. That is the true free range. That one, when the egg comes, you can see that this is purely natural. But apart from that, if I put the food on the floor or in the yard and the chicken goes for it, the only benefit is that you are eating a chicken who did exercise. Compared to the one who is stuck in a place and just eating, that's the only benefit. So yeah, I don't spend money unnecessarily on that. I will use that money, save that money from there, and use it to buy avocado and add it, or use it to buy the expensive olive oil, the virgin oil, which is very expensive, rather than to buy expensive egg and you can afford olive oil and you use some bad seed oil, which we don't recommend that you use. I think we get
Yeah,
that.
and with the color, I think some people use this marketing strategy. Even when it comes out white, they'll go
They can
ahead
also
and
spray
spray
it.
it brown. So they'll be deceiving people that think that brown egg is better than white egg. So don't fall into that trap and spend extra money that you don't have to.
Definitely, definitely. All right, let's move on to the next one. So our next thing is now, I think Gifty has already given this cheat already about there's current research out there that has considered a lot of the information that people have said concerning eggs. I'm going to see if I can find, because I want to make sure I read some of them out. These are studies with a huge number of people. Usually, when a study is done and the sample size or the number of people that they look at is a lot, then the study is more robust or the study is more rigorous. The study is kind of the results that come out is more likely going to be true if you have a lot of people studied. And all the studies that we looked at did that, and so we can take their answers to the bank. I'm pretty sure there are opposing studies that say otherwise, but since we are on the on the wagon of debunking all those myths, we chose this because we want to buttress our point. So you can say we are biased. Of course, we are biased because we believe in the health of a good egg. All right, so the first one is the A. Let me see if I can say the full thing.
American Journal of Clinical Nutrition.
American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, the AJCN, and then the BMJ, all study completed in 2020. Very recent, fairly recent, I should say. And they studied over 415,000 people. And their results, let's see if I can read that. From the BMJ, the results that they gleaned from the study is let me just say this research was published in the BMJ, followed by over 411,000 people, participants for an average of 12 years. They did it for a long time, and then the conclusion is that moderate egg consumption, up to 1 egg per day, was not associated with higher incidence of stroke. So if somebody tells you that eating eggs will make you have stroke, this study of 411,000 people says otherwise. I'm not just making it up. Especially, they put that caveat in there, which is good because some people may naturally have a lot of cholesterol. They say that especially if you're only doing 1 egg per day. Now, Gifty was that how many people fry 1 egg and eat when we were talking about this?
It's too little.
It's too little, right? You usually would do 2 or 3. And what I said to that is that you can do today's and tomorrow's together in 2. So you fry 2 eggs today, and tomorrow you are off. You don't eat egg. So it's still 1 a day, right? Come on, man. That's a And if you want to eat 4 eggs at one point, you just make sure that there are some other days that you don't eat your 1 egg. So literally what I'm trying to say is that if you are just careful, you can eat your egg and have it however much you want it, especially if you limit it to 1 egg per day. And you want to read the other one? I know.
The first one.
Yeah.
So, a large prospective study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition in 2020 followed over 415,000 participants for an average of 8.2 years. The researchers found no association between egg consumption up to 1 egg per day and an increased risk of stroke or ischemic heart disease.
Oh, come on, man. That is another proof that 1 egg per day, at least, at most, it's not going to hurt you. It says that why? The researchers found no association between consumption of up to 1 egg per day with increased risk of stroke or heart disease. So if you are doing it moderately, you can always eat your egg and have it.
And have it.
Oh, come on, man. You can eat your egg and have it. Now, if you are a vampire, is that a vampire that eats eggs or the other?
I don't know.
There's a local name that I have, but I don't think people understand. Pampansrodo. It's a kind of snake that swallows eggs or something like that. Correct me if I said it wrong, those who know. If you are that person that love your egg, you want to eat your egg all the time, all you got to do is to make sure that your cholesterol levels are on point. If you don't have hypercholesterolemia or your LDL levels are on point, then go with it. But you just want to be careful if you don't know, because we know that incrementally your cholesterol levels can increase if you are added. We have 186 in one, and we are eating 5 at a time. You can multiply it.
And you do that daily.
And you do it daily, then of course it's going to be high, at some point. And so the key is moderation. And that's what the study also said. It's got to be in moderation. And there's another study before we move on that says that a 2018 study in the Journal of Heart analyzed data from over 500,000 adults in China and found that consuming 1 egg per day was not associated with an increased risk of stroke or cardiovascular disease. Another study of 500,000. This one was in China. So across the globe, wherever the studies were done, there's a proof that eating 1 egg at most a day will not do you any harm. And so you can eat your egg and have it. And of course, if your doctor says otherwise, then like I said, who am I? Because they see you. And if your cholesterol is too much, they may restrict you at some point. But for the rest of us, we can say that eggs are good and those myths are all debunked. Move on next.
Yeah, and I can add on to say that, that's the cheapest protein that you can afford. Maybe you can afford the salmon, you can afford, the expensive protein. The egg is so cheap, and you can get a lot of benefits from eating egg. You just have to do it in moderation so that you balance your diet. Then you can achieve the maximum protein for the day. So I was paying attention with the protein that I consume in a day, and I realized that I'm very low in the amount of protein that I have to get in a day. So you may be like me. You are more like you want to do the expensive fish, right? And you can afford that every day. Just add eggs to it on the caveat, on the point that the level of the bad cholesterol is, if it's not too high. If it's controlled or is at the level that is good, then you can go ahead and add eggs as part of the protein that you consume every other day.
Definitely. That's important. Now, the other thing that I would also add is that eating your eggs, much as is good, you have to add your exercise. And the point I was actually going to add to it is for diabetics. It is also known to eggs are also known to be one of the foods with the lowest glycemic index.
Right.
If you follow our channel when we did that, the lower the glycemic index, the better the food, right? And so if you eat eggs, the chances of sugars dumping into your bloodstream are less compared to if you eat a potato. That's so obvious, right?
Yeah.
If you eat something that is starchy, you're going to dump a huge amount of sugar into your blood. But if you eat an egg, because it's more protein than sugar, your sugar levels don't jump up that much. And so some diabetics make sure that they at least include eggs because it's also nutrient dense.
Right.
And you don't get as hungry, compared to the starchy foods that you may find. But also because you're also diabetic, remember that you're also prone to cholesterol or high cholesterol. So you just have to make sure that
Balance it
you weigh
out.
those two together and ensure that you don't, overdo it and increase your cholesterol while your sugar is also, taken care of. So it's just a balance act, balance in the act right there. All right. Is there anything else you
Yeah,
can?
and is because it's protein, it control your appetite.
Yes.
Like you said, you don't easily get hungry as compared to just consuming carbohydrates,
Yes.
which will make you crave for more food. But if you eat the protein source, which is egg, you tend to control your appetite, and that can help you manage your weight if you do more of the protein instead of carbohydrates.
Definitely, definitely, definitely. All right. So I think we're going to add a few more techniques to that, but let's see if there's any more. Okay. So we are actually there. We are doing the prevention of stroke tips, especially using your egg diet and other stuff. So I would add that if you are eating a meal of eggs, you just make sure that it is not, with too much starch, as we are saying. You are making sure that your egg is by itself, and you're adding other things that are also nutrient dense, kind of like an avocado. I like
Yeah,
my
that's
morning,
your
my
breakfast.
breakfast is a bread, whole
Whole
grain
bread.
bread with half, sometimes a full avocado
No.
and eggs, and then black coffee. And I can have that for the most part of the day. And then in the afternoon, my lunch would be
The nuts.
the nuts. Come on, man. Because I have already powered up breakfast with dense nutrients from the eggs, 2 eggs, and then also I have, my avocado. I have good oils from the
Yes.
avocado, and then with my whole grain bread, I don't get hungry quick. I can walk around and do everything until around 2 o'clock. Then I feel like, oh, maybe I should eat something. And by that time, my nut is already there, ready to be pounced on. My healthy nut, the mixture of almonds,
Walnuts,
walnuts,
pistachios,
pistachios,
cranberry.
dry cranberries, there, and then you drink your water with it, and you're good. So definitely some of the things that you can do. That's a cheat sheet trick to do that. I mean, I want this while you talk. You have anything to say?
I think we've covered everything now.
All right, all right. So with that, the last other things to add concerning your stroke prevention is definitely your exercise. Again, if you are concerned about X, if you are concerned and have the myths, it means you are concerned about cholesterol going up. That's why you have heard the myths anyway. And so, why don't you add exercise? Because adding exercise will increase your HDL, which will in turn then bring your LDL down. And increased HDL is associated with very good cardiovascular disease outcomes. In other words, if your HDL numbers are high, you don't usually get a stroke, you don't usually get a heart attack. And so, why don't you look on that rather than to blame good old egg and miss out on the good old egg? So, yeah,
Yeah.
apart from the diet, exercise, you have anything else?
Yeah, and
Stress,
with the
maybe?
trans fats, I
Mm-hmm.
think we talked about,
Yes.
and the saturated fats, we should try and stay away from all that. The pastries, I
The
think,
pastries, you have to
some
mention it.
people,
Yes. The
meat
trans fat, people
pie,
don't know where it is. The pies and the pastries and the cakes.
the cakes, yeah.
Yes.
You have to try and stay away from that. You have to be worried about that more than eating eggs, because if you stay away from eggs and you pound on saturated fat and trans fat, trust me, you are more at risk than just eating plain egg.
You are more at risk than just a plain old egg. All right. Any other tip for stroke and heart disease prevention? The other tip is that stick to our channel. If you have not subscribed already, make sure you watch. Every Sunday evening we come live. As a matter of fact, we may even come live tomorrow if I can get my guest on the live tomorrow, because hopefully he will be awake tomorrow. And we just subscribe and hit the bell button so that you will be notified when we go live. And we talk about stuff like this, which is real practical stuff that you can do rather than to stay and get some diseases that you don't want to happen. All right. Any other? Let me see if there's another Uh,
Oh,
oh, I see. Let me
oh, it's
go.
like crocodile.
Omampam. How do I even get that on there? So I try to mention the name of that animal that eats eggs, and then Apostle has said, he says Omampam. We're going to say it in English, Omampam. That's the animal that eats eggs like crazy. You know, if you are an Omampam, trust me, that one will help. And then, she actually describes it, right? He says that it is like a crocodile. The Omampam is like a croc, right? And that is the animal that loves to eat eggs. But those of us who love to eat eggs, we are not going to be like that Omampam. We're just going to make sure that we eat healthily. At least this, if we go with what the studies say, 1 egg a day, so 7 eggs per week. If you can divide it however many times, maybe you do it 3, and 4, whatever it is, the total should not be more than 7. You know that you're not overdoing it. You know, if you can do that, then that's fine. Or better still, if you can do every day one, boiled or fried in a very good oil, such as maybe olive oil, then you will be on your way to a healthy heart and brain. All right.
Yeah, so we can end by saying you can eat your egg and have it.
You can
right?
eat your egg, and have it. Definitely can. You can definitely do that. There's no way you cannot eat your egg and have it if you're doing it the right way. So
Moderation.
moderation is the key. Moderation is the key. And of course, work with your healthcare provider, your APRN, your doctor, your pharmacist, whoever you're working with, your nutritionist, your dietitian, all those specific groups of people who you may be working with may be able to fine tune your own specific needs. For some of you, they may say, don't eat any. For some of you, they will say that, eat 3 a week. For some of you, they say that, eat as much as you can because your cholesterol is on point and you are healthy. For some of you, they may say that it's your choice, in which case you can do it. So that is what we have on the live today. Anything else?
I think we're good.
All right, I think we are good, and we want to thank everybody for joining us. I think we got through all the likes, and if you are watching and you have not given us any stars or any subscribes or any thumbs up, if you're watching after the live, make sure you do that because we want to be able to do it more. When we see you, we get encouraged by all those comments that people see us, those who are close to us, and tell us do it. As a matter of fact, this topic came about because I was discussing with my uncle, who is in Uncle Bochi right now. If you are watching, if you are watching, it is you who brought this topic because he had questions about this, and I'm like, that would be a nice question, a nice topic to actually talk about. And so, just yesterday we talked about it. So if you watch it, it's for you. And we thank everybody else for joining us, and we say,
Beloved, we wish
above
above all things that you prosper and be in health, even as your soul prospers.
God bless.
Thank you.